Okay, so what we're going to look at in this video is the various forms of articulation on the guitar. Now, if all of that sounded Greek to you, let me try and put it to you in layman's terms. Articulation basically just refers to the way you actually play a note, and it's exactly the way we speak. We articulate certain words in different ways for effect, because if our speech patterns, they were all spoken on the same note, then it would just be very boring. So that's why we, as human beings, we just do that thing automatically. Whether you tell a story and you kind of need to build up to a climax in the story, or something really exciting is going to happen, then if you're a good storyteller, the way you articulate your words and the tone and all those kind of things that you use when you're speaking will just really be able to drive the point home much more clearly than what it would have been if you've just spoken in the same tone of voice the whole time, because then it's just really boring. Okay, so we don't want to get that boring thing happening on a guitar. We want to make sure that things kind of move along in the right mood that we want it to move. So if we want it to be like an up-tempo vibe happening on a guitar, then we use certain forms of articulation. If we want like a slow, laid-back feel, we would use other kinds of articulation techniques just to help us get that particular mood or whatever you want to call it. So that's why it's important to actually get some different techniques down when it comes to playing guitar, and not always using the same kind of articulation. So what do I mean with that? Well, let me give you a couple of examples. Okay, so that was a pretty straightforward example. 7th fret on the A string, 5th fret on the D string, 7th fret on the D string, 5th fret on the G string. So just those 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4 notes, and I played them in the following way. Okay, so that's fine if I want to play that particular phrase just using alternate picking and just playing my notes cleanly, not using any forms of articulation. But if I want something that's a little bit more interesting and not so plain as I've just done that phrase, I could do the following. Okay, so as you can hear, that was quite different to the first example, and I used a slight rhythmic variation as well. So that's what I mean with the different ways in which you can articulate notes. So let's get a little bit, let's look at it in more depth than I've just explained to you. First of all, we get what's known as hammer ons. Then I get pull-offs. They are the exact opposite as a hammer on. I get slides. And I also get bends. And of course, vibrato. Okay, so those are a couple of techniques that you can start to use to articulate the way you play things on the guitar differently. So we've looked at hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, bends, and vibrato. What I'm going to do now is we're going to look at each one of those techniques in detail, and I'm going to give you a couple of exercises that you can use to practice them.